He's been arrested on suspicion of Joy Morgan.
Dad, this is shocking. It's like I don't explain. It's like feels like I'm dreaming. I'm gonna wake up. She's dead.
When we experience grief, our entire lives can get thrown into question. It might push us to get a new job and chase our dreams. It might be the spark that we needed to get fit and healthy. It could even make you question your faith, your reason for being. Finding faith is often seen as a positive thing for someone to experience, but sometimes it can be the gateway into a dark world where not everyone is as they seem. This is the case of Joy Morgan. Viewer discretion is advised. Here at Case Documentaries, we release at least one new true crime video every week. I hope that you will join the Dark Case family by subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications. And please consider further helping us in our work by supporting us on Patreon. Link is in the description. Super thanks is switched on for this video and all contributions are incredibly welcome. Channel membership is also now available for 99p per month. Your support is greatly appreciated. Our love and respect goes out to those that knew and loved Joy. Joy Morgan was born in South London on February the 12th, 1998. Joy, her mother Carol, her stepfather and her 3 siblings, 2 sisters and a brother, grew up in the South London neighbourhood of Battersea. Growing up, Joy's family sometimes struggled financially, but they were happy and close-knit. Mother Carol often worked hard, doing 12 to 15-hour shifts as a care worker. She would always look after me when I came home after a long shift, cooking lovely home-cooked meals, Carol said about Joy. Carol worked hard to give her kids a good upbringing. She would take her children to neighbourhood parks to spend their time together and play. This was free, but it meant a lot, and it helped to create fond family memories. Joy and her family liked to treat themselves to a special £2 meal box from the chicken shop that was just down the road from the Morgan family home. Joy's brother Earl said, "I'm really proud of her. She liked to make sure that you were doing the best for yourself. Stuff like looking for jobs and going to college. She always wanted to make sure that you were doing the most you could do with the surroundings that you have. She's a good person, she's kind, she's thoughtful, she always wants to help, and she is her name. She's just Joy," her mother said. Joy's auntie, Helen Heap, said, "Joy was lovely as a kid. She was so funny, energetic and always smiling and running around, and she was lovely, really nice." Life, however, seemed to throw a lot at young Joy and her family. In 2006, Joy's uncle Prince passed away from cancer. And a few years later, in 2012, her stepfather also passed in the same tragic way. Auntie Helen Heap said about Joy at this time, "Uncle Prince passing first was hard for everybody. But yeah, it would have been hard for Joy. She was really sad about that. Her stepdad, that was terrible because that was cancer like what happened to Prince. And then obviously what happened with her dad was really bad. And she was sad. She was low." Joy's father sadly passed in 2014. Soon after this, Joy enrolled at the University of Hertfordshire to study midwifery. Her mother, Carol, said, "She wanted to go on to be a doctor, and she said, 'I'm going to train midwifery first, and then when I pass that, I'm going to be a doctor afterwards.'" Joy, now perhaps questioning everything about her life, about death and what is next, and looking for somewhere to belong, discovered a church that was willing to welcome her in.
She was very vulnerable, and she wanted to feel a part of something.
This church was Israel United in Christ, or IUIC. Another female member of the church said, "It was a proud feeling. It was a feeling of being part of a unity, a unified group."
Seeing how the Bible could unify our people to where the barriers of, blacks and Hispanics fighting each other, just us as being at the bottom of society, one another, We were now treating one another like family.
Joy, now a 17-year-old girl at a very vulnerable time in her life, joined what has been described as a group. Joy's sister said, "She became different. She began to separate herself from my family, which was important to her because I know Joy loves her family. The teachings of the church, it just seems like a cult, and she just got swept away in it." Joy's life and Joy as a person changed. The IUIC's headquarters are based in America. Joy began staying up until the early hours of the morning to watch live streams of the IUIC's leaders preaching their teachings. Teachings that were leading Joy to be cut off from her wider surroundings and to delve deeper into this new world, this new place of belonging, the IUIC. The church teaches that the descendants of the 10 lost tribes and true biblical Jews are the Black Americans, West Indians and Native Americans of North and South America, as well as those who now live all over the world, but not the Jewish people or Africans. The group lists, among others, white people as the enemy. Speaking about white people, I quote, "They are descended from a race of red, hairy beings known as Edomites, who were spawned by Esau, the twin brother of Jacob, later known as Israel in the Old Testament. Equally hated by the group are Jews, Asians, promiscuous black women, abortionists, continental Africans and homosexuals, who, according to some IUIC members, should all be put to death."
They have the belief that Caucasians are literally, not figuratively, not like metaphorically, but they are literally the devil because white people have this, horrific, it's like white people are genetically driven to destroy black people.
Joy's mother could see the changes that were happening to her beloved daughter and tried her best to bring her back to her old self, back to the daughter that she knew, a daughter free from this new damaging influence. In an attempt to restore normality, she began to remove the broadband cables at night time, but this was not enough to stop Joy's obsession. Joy's family was a blending of different races. Her stepfather was white, her auntie Helen was white, some of her siblings were mixed race. However, this was not enough to stop the somewhat extreme influence of the IUIC's teachings.
She was getting more and more into it, and when she was getting more and more into it, she became more vocal with some things that wasn't nice. Yeah. A white devil.
Joy began to call her own siblings, who are of mixed race, white devils. Mother Carol tried to reason with Joy that what she was saying to her family and what she was saying about the wider world was based on racism, that this wasn't her and that the IUIC influence was harmful and it had to stop. She said, "Enough, enough now. You need to stop this rubbish." Things amongst the family escalated. Joy made a huge decision. The IUIC was more important than her family. Now 18 years old, Joy moved out of the family home and was rehomed by the council. Joy remained in temporary housing until she began her midwifery course at the University of Hertfordshire in August of 2017. She lived on campus and was now free from her family, free to become as deeply immersed in the world of the IUIC as she desired. Here she was described as highly respected with a caring nature and perpetual smile. Maybe the joy that her family knew, loved and remembered was still there, underneath it all. There was still hope from Joy's family that the old Joy would come out of the other side.
She was growing, she was becoming a woman. And I think if she would have been given a few more years, she would have been out of that church. She would have realised it's not for her. She's too good. She's too helpful and kind.
It divided her from us because it made her seem like they were there for her when we couldn't be there for her. Well, I couldn't be there for her because I put her out at 18 because I said enough. I'm not having every day, every single day is about the same thing. It's about hate.
The IUIC has often been called a cult. It has charismatic leaders. It indoctrinates its followers into a new way of thinking, a new way of living. It makes you believe that those outside of the group are your enemies. It encouraged you to cut yourself off from the influence of anyone that isn't a part of that group. Friends, family, neighbours, they are now all of the devil. Your normal support network, your very necessary anchors, all gone. You don't need your family. You have a new one.
IUIC is my family and like the best family that I've ever had. That's it really.
In December of 2018, Joy was now 20 years old and she had been a member of the IUIC for nearly 3 years. She now stood at just 5 foot 5 inches tall and had a slight frame. The distance between her and her family was now greater than ever. Joy's auntie was planning to throw a family gathering after Christmas, saying it wasn't about Christmas, which Joy no longer celebrated, but instead it was an opportunity to spend time together as a family, a time to celebrate their love for each other. However, Joy didn't respond positively. On the 24th of December 2018, Joy went to a party at the IUIC church on Haynor Street in London, as part of a community that she said was like family to her. On December the 26th, instead of attending her family gathering, Joy chose to attend an IUIC event in Ilford. The distance between Joy and her family grew into a gaping void. On the 27th of December 2018, Joy was active on WhatsApp, interacting with other university students and talking mostly about the course and campus life. Strangely, the next day, Joy's phone number was taken off of the church's Telegram chat group, which included several of her fellow IUIC members. On the 1st of January 2019, nobody had heard from Joy for several days, but given how tense her family connections were, this wasn't out of the ordinary. On this day, Joy's phone was switched on for the final time, before going offline for good. In the following weeks, Joy's family didn't hear from her.
It was Christmas time. Joy don't celebrate Christmas, so there was no worry. Then afterwards I was still calling, and I'm a worrier anyway, so I was just like, she did say her phone wasn't working properly, she'd get back to me, you know, so I know she's always busy with her placement, or she's busy with uni, so Joy will get back to me at some point.
I did not believe there was anything wrong. I thought there was something wrong with my phone, then there was something wrong with Joy's phone, and I didn't get her. Then there was other things happening, and I was phoning her. All of a sudden, February 6th, I was going, hold on a second here, it's 6 weeks. I will never not feeling guilt until the day they bury me.
By February the 7th, 2019, Joy still hadn't been heard for. Joy was not reported missing by any members of the church, even though she was a church regular. She was dedicated and was an active member of the congregation. Now 6 weeks since Joy was last seen, Joy's letting agent had not received her rent payment. The letting agents contacted Carol as she was her guarantor, meaning if Joy didn't pay her rent, Carol would be responsible for doing so. At this time, Joy's flatmates also started to get suspicious. Joy's mother, Carol, realised something was very wrong and now reported her daughter's disappearance to the police. Joy Morgan was now officially a missing person. It may seem unusual that it took so long for Joy to be reported missing. However, DCI Karina Thomas explains, Joy works in several areas, being in Hatfield for university, goes back to London for church and various other things. It's that time of year where Christmas was happening. People are going on placements within universities, and some of her flatmates had extended breaks from their student gigs. So it's just one of those things where nothing got pulled together to formally report it to us. Bedfordshire, Cambridgeshire and Hertfordshire police took the lead in an extensive police investigation. On the 9th of February 2019, just 2 days after Joy was reported missing, a 40-year-old London man was detained on suspicion of murder.
You've been arrested on suspicion of the Joy Morgan.
Good.
I'll have to caution you, as I did do at roadside, you do not have to say anything that may harm your defence. Listen, if you not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Okay?
Dead. I just want to know she's dead, because it's like, I don't explain, she's like I'm dreaming I'm going to wake up.
However, the individual was granted bail and freed whilst the investigations go on. Police emphasised that this was only one avenue of inquiry and that they were still making an appeal for information from the public. On the 11th of February 2019, Hertfordshire Police issued the first of several missing persons appeals. In the appeal, Joy was described as black, of slim build, around 5 foot 5 inches tall, with black afro-style hair which she often covers with a scarf. Joy also wears glasses. Police described her to the public as a focused and determined student. Her disappearance is completely out of character, and all avenues that we have explored to establish her whereabouts so far have come back negative, said police at a press conference. On the 15th of February 2019, officers from the police search unit known as Pulsar started searching the area surrounding Hooks Cross and the A602 close to Stevenage. They were looking for any information or evidence that might help them put together what had happened to Joy. Police believed that even though her phone was turned off, it may have maintained a connection to a nearby network. Also on this day, to help jog memories, police released a video from December the 24th. At the IUIC party, Joy was seen having fun and dancing. Police also provided photos of a distinctive red Honda which has a black roof and bonnet.
We have a Honda vehicle that she regularly gets lifts in. The vehicle we have seen, we've looked at, we know the owner, we know the circumstances of why and how she gets lifts, but it's really distinctive and we're putting it out there really so that it might jog people's memory because of the time frame we're looking at, that it gives them something else that they may think, oh, I remember the car and therefore I remember Joy getting out of the car, and that might give us a different location, a different area that we're not so far away of and again so far aware of, and again we can go back and have a look at that.
It may be able to unlock vital information. On the 20th of February, Carol, Joy's mother, and Dion, her sister, issue a tearful appeal to the police.
Our family's broken.
I can't believe this is what we're looking for Joy. I just wanted to say this is a dream. And she knocks at the door. Just right now, it'd be great. She knocks on this door and it'd just be all over. That's all, because I can't believe. I really can't believe. I really can't believe we're here, you know, because now this shouldn't be. I don't know what else to say. Joy, if you're out there, babies, and you don't have to worry about upsetting me or anyone. All we want you to do is come forward, go to the police and talk to a police officer, phone them and talk to them. If you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. You can just talk to the police officers. All I want to know, babies, is that you're alive and well, and that's it.
On the 22nd of February 2019, sniffer dogs were used by police to search the area surrounding Norton Green, which is on the outskirts of Stevenage. On February 24th, Carol and brother Earl are still pleading for assistance through the media.
Well, the concern is grown. I mean, on the 7th, I reported her officially missing on the 7th, but she wasn't reported missing before then, or noticed by the church.
Oh, this is your sister as well.
Yeah.
I mean, how unusual is this?
It's very unusual. Joy usually, like, my mum or either me would message her, phone her, and if we didn't get through, like a couple of days later or a day later, she'll get back to us, or even the same day. And, you know, since the 26th of December last year, no one's seen her.
We need to know what happened, and someone out there knows something.
Carol also tries to get the IUIC to speak with her directly. Unbelievably, as seen in this video, the IUIC are strangely unhelpful.
Given this number by the police, I'm going to put it on loudspeaker so that we all know what's going on. And let's see what she's going to say.
Hello, your call cannot be taken at this moment, so please leave your message after the tone.
And I'll phone you back if I could speak about my daughter, please. Thank you very much.
Do you feel the church has been helpful?
No, they have not. Not in my eyes. No one's contacted me personally from the church. You know, all the internet that's out there, they could have left a message and some way it would have come through to me. Nothing. I've got a mobile, I've got a house phone, I also have an address. So, you know, out of the three of them, if you couldn't get me on the phone, you could have sent a letter.
So you think they could have easily found your address?
They could have easily found my address.
On the 26th of February 2019, the 40-year-old London man is detained in connection with the case for the second time on suspicion of murder.
Yeah, they charged him. With what?
I know.
Yeah, I'm alright.
Life is a cruel thing.
On the 27th of February, the arrested 40-year-old man is charged with murder and is named as Shofar El Israel. Israel was originally from Nigeria and was previously known as Ajibola Shogbamimu. Members of the IUIC are to adopt a new name. Israel's first name, Shofar, comes from his loud speaking voice and is named after the ceremonial ram's horn. Israel was a prominent speaker in the IUIC. On June the 10th, 2019, Israel entered a not guilty plea. Carol was interviewed for a BBC Newsbeat documentary on July the 7th.
I open my balcony and I stand on it. And when I look on my balcony, I have to say, like, you know, where are you, Joy? Because I don't know where she is. There's only one person that knows missing. I have no other choice but to get up and wash up, dress up, step up, because that's all I can do.
I'm hoping to find out what really happened, because up until now it's all confusing. They haven't even told us. All they're saying is that Joy was missing from this day, and all of this is a big gap. What happened? How did it come to this? How did she get involved with this man? I want to know it all. I feel like my sister got robbed for her future.
The trial started the following day on July the 8th. At the trial, prosecutor Mark Fennells QC said the trial was unlike many murder cases. No friend, fellow student or family member has seen her. Her body is missing, but we say that all the available evidence will make sure she is dead and that Israel is responsible. The court was informed that Joy had become friends with Mr. Israel, a member of the IUIC church, as well as his wife at the time. Mr. Fennells said she was a mainstay of the congregation, worshipping regularly and helping run the children's group. She had not been seen there since Boxing Day last year. On the 28th of December, her number was removed from a church social media chat group. There is no good reason why she wanted to leave her only known friends and the church. Israel must have been responsible in order to cover for her disappearance.
Joy was missing before my mum reported it missing. And they didn't come up to nobody, they didn't, tell anybody, they just kept it to themselves. So it's a bit strange to me, in my opinion. It's a bit.
According to Mr. Fennells, no one from the church reported her missing. When the police finally searched Israel's car after 3 days of questioning, they discovered Joy's flat keys.
She obviously doesn't have access to that because you have her keys in your car.
Israel told police that on December the 26th, he had driven Joy to her house in Hatfield. However, phone records indicated otherwise. Mr. Fennells said his account completely changed, and he said that Joy did go to Cricklewood with him in the early hours of December the 27th, but that she slept on the sofa.
The 6th was a Wednesday. I dropped her off on the 26th because my wife was pregnant. And at first, yes, on that day when I dropped her off, she was supposed to be spending the night with my wife because she normally stays with her sometimes.
Just as a quick note from me, just to make sure this is clear, Israel said that Joy was questioning her faith. That's why he brought her to his home. He said that he showed her videos of other people that had left the IUIC in an attempt to show her that this isn't actually what she wanted. Now we go back to the words of Mr. Fennells. He is one of those people who lies whenever he thinks he can get away with it. Only when presented with a new piece of evidence does he come up with a fresh explanation. He is, we say, a thoroughly dishonest and manipulative man. He fabricates accounts and lies because he has no answer. Mr. Fennell said that the IUIC had a very particular and clear social hierarchy. Ranks for male members include the titles officers and soldiers, with all others called brothers. The women have no ranks and are referred to as sisters. The women are required to call the men as sir or master, he added. On July the 11th, 2019, the court heard that Joy thought of Israel as a father figure. Just as a quick note from me, knowing Joy's family history and the loss of so many of her important father figures through her life, I think this is just a really sad thing. I believe it's possible she was looking for a father figure. She quite possibly believed that she had found what she was looking for in Israel. The following is a message that Joy sent to Israel in January of 2018. I really do appreciate how you treat me like a daughter. From the beginning, I've struggled with not having a father figure in this truth because I came in so young. I understand I have spiritual fathers, but you treat me like I am your blood daughter. In text sent to Joy in March 2018, Israel, who denied having sex with her, called her an exquisite princess and a treasure that cannot be measured. The final signal from Joy's phone, which by the way has never been recovered, was matched to the location of Israel's car in the Stevenage area on December the 28th. He was most likely looking for somewhere to dispose of the body, prosecutors told the jury. It's worth noting that the jury weren't actually informed about Israel's alleged flirty or harassive interactions with Joy or other churchgoers during the court case. Israel continued to plead his innocence. Members of the IUIC waited outside the court, and tensions between the Morgan family and the IUIC ran high.
Why did none of you from the local authority police the 997 human beings did not call the police, but you still took her £10 a month or whatever her type was. You see the money that you pay monthly? You knew she was you knew she was you still taking her money. Well, why you know? You people knew she was America. I don't care. They're the money. They're the money takers. It's the money. It's the money takers. No. Follow the money. Follow the money. You pay £10 whatever time a month. Why do you still pay this?
On July the 30th, 2019, the jury made up of 8 women and 4 men began their deliberation. On the 5th of August 2019, Shofar El Israel was found guilty. Judge Michael Saul said Israel's cruel and cowardly refusal to reveal her whereabouts caused continuing distress and suffering to her family. He said, "Only you know the circumstances of your terrible deeds and why you did it. You are evidently an intelligent man and have said nothing beyond the lies and explanations which the jury has rejected." The court has heard the most moving personal statement from Joy's mother, Carol Morgan, which speaks of Joy's warm, loving and caring personality and character. On top of all this must be the very particular and continuing distress and suffering which flows from your cruel and cowardly silence about Joy Morgan's final resting place. Israel received a life sentence with a minimum of 17 years in jail.
Justice has been served. In a very good way.
Life, he's not going to get through always. Yeah, that moment lasted it seemed like it was forever. I actually thought they said, not guilty. So I had to, and then I heard it, I was like, thank God.
On the 6th of August 2019, Carol said, "Give me my baby back. He knows where she is. The way I hear it, he was besotted with her. If he loved her, give her back so I can bury my daughter. If I get to see her before I die, I'll be very grateful. She was my shining light and my superstar."
We really would like to find Joy's body. Somebody out there somewhere, we hope, has some information, even however small. We've got a family that are without their daughter's body.
On Saturday, October the 5th, 2019 at 7:43 AM, a member of the public walking their dog discovered a body in a wooded area off Chadwell Road in Norton Green. This was close to a location that had already been examined by police in February. On the 10th of October 2019, the identity of the body was confirmed to be that of 20-year-old Joy Morgan. Detective Chief Inspector Jenkins said, Joy's mum Carol was just pleading to get her daughter back so she could say goodbye properly. She added, she's so very sad, but she's also happy that she's got that final piece of the jigsaw. Sister Dion said, I really wonder what the hell that guy did though, and what was his reason. To know that someone murdered her and disposed of her like that. Like she was nobody. She was somebody. She was Joy Morgan. She was my sister. Mother Carol said, Joy was so beautiful and completely lived up to her name. She brought joy to all our lives. I know she would have been an amazing midwife. Our family has been living a nightmare and we miss her so much. And now we get to say goodbye properly. Do you think that 17 years in jail was the right punishment for this crime? Let me know in the comments, and please do like the video to boost the signal of this case. Super thanks are switched on for this video and all contributions are incredibly welcome. Channel membership is available for just 99p per month. Just click join below. For more dark cases, please hit subscribe and turn on notifications. The catalogue of cases covered is growing weekly, so do check out the channel page. Thank you to this month's patrons, David James, Shane Woodward and Jason Deckard. For supporting me on Patreon, I will thank you at the end of each video produced during your time supporting me. Additionally, you will be credited in the video's description. You will also gain access to Patreon DMs, which will give you priority case suggestion. It costs just £4 in UK money or your local equivalent. The support it will provide me and the channel will allow the continuation of my work. Thank you all, look after yourself, and I'll see you soon.